Welcome back to Pokémon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. In the last part, we saved Medicham in the Wish Cave and we got to check out that dungeon, which has restrictions. It's the first of those that we've seen so far in the game. And speaking of dungeons, that is going to be the aim of the day. We've got a bunch of new dungeons that we haven't checked out yet that I'd like to do. We've got Southern Cavern, Grand Sea, Far Off Sea, and Purity Forest, as well as Wyvern Hill and Joyous Tower. But we don't have missions in those last two, so today I think we're going to check out at least Southern Cavern and Grand Sea. We're going to start with Southern Cavern, and I'm going to bring the same team as I did before. Here we are. I really like this team. I also really like how this dungeon looks. There's just something about like the little bits of crystal or ore or something that really stand out to me that I just really like. Wow, Ashley is handling this. So I really like this team composition. As I mentioned in the last part, the coverage that we have, both offensively and defensively, is just really, really solid. And I think if I was to do the super endgame dungeons, this would probably be the team that I brought. I really do like the rest of the team, the other team members that we have. Oh, we're making good progress through here. As a Magby. Right, that's our mission. It's been so long since I did regular missions. Oh, well, here are our stairs. Let's at least do what we need to do and save Magby. The Pokemon here don't seem to be too much of a... Whoa. Okay. The Pokemon here don't seem to be too much of a challenge, but the traps clearly are. And Titania is back to their regular moveset now, as opposed to the level 5 moveset we had in the last part. Let's recruit this Seedot, since we don't have one. I do wonder what discoveries lie ahead of us this time. I really should take some more time to talk to our Pokemon. Oh, nice flinch. You've got this. Precious is just off doing her own thing. It's fine. She's just vibing. Oh, here we go. Here's Magby. So we can rescue you. And it would seem that Southern Cavern is not a particularly special dungeon. It didn't have any restrictions, and the Pokemon here seem relatively weak so far. But there's always the chance that it steps itself up in difficulty as we go on, and I'm just interested to see what this game has to offer for us. As we've had these dungeons unlocked for quite some time and haven't been able to check them out because we've been busy doing main story, I suppose, or post-game story arcs. But this is part of the game too, and it's certainly something that I would like to check out. That's a Phanpy, okay. Lots of ground types and rock types here. This is not a problem for Precious. I can see this getting a little ugly as time goes on, if we get earthquaked, but let's just not think about it, and then maybe it won't happen. But as for right now, Heatwave is doing the job. Oh, Voltorb. I mean, there is quite a varied bunch of Pokemon in this dungeon. We've seen electric types, we've seen grass types, as well as the rock and ground types that seem to be quite common. What do we get? A citrus berry, nice. Probably no reason not to just use that straight away. Healing is not a problem for this team, because we have items, but we also have Titania's Wish. Okay, who could use this? Titania could use this. They're 2 or 3 levels down compared to Precious and Ashley, but the health difference is quite big because we've put so many life seeds and citrus berries into Precious and Ashley being our lead 2 members. Speaking of which, that's a level up for Precious. Not really sure how much more there is to gain from level ups. At this stage, we're 63 now, which is crazy. And yes, stats are nice, but I feel like other ways of boosting stats are a little bit more efficient, or a little bit more valuable in that regard. And I honestly don't know if there are any moves left to learn, and we haven't changed Precious's moveset in a very long time. I think Grass Pledge was the most recent addition. And yeah, we could probably swap that out, or we could swap Sleep Powder out for something a little different. But I'm really happy with it. Energy Ball is just our go-to, really, in terms of damage and stuff. We've got Tiny Reviver Seed, we've got an Empowerment Seed, another Empowerment Seed. We probably don't need all this stuff, so I'm just going to pass. We're actually very well set on items right now. I came in very well prepared, not knowing how difficult this dungeon was going to be. But it would appear that this one is another place to recruit Pokemon, since we've got ourselves a Seedot, which I don't know if we've even seen a Seedot yet in the game, so that's pretty good. Seedot is one of the very few Pokemon that I don't think I actually have in my national dex, if you consider Pokemon Home and all of that. Ow, Earth Power. That didn't do too much damage though, we're alright. Plus we got the Riled Up boost. Quite simply, I never owned Pokemon Ruby, and I never owned Pokemon Omega Ruby, and that's pretty much the only games you can get Seedot in, apart from, I think it's in Sword, but I own Shield. So it's a Pokemon that I just have never really had much access to, and it's just one that I've never bothered to trade for either. Ow, well there's Earthquake. Fortunately these Pokemon aren't particularly strong, so we'll be fine. Actually there's a Kecleon shop over there, let's go check that out. Though there's not really much a Kecleon shop can offer me, we have a ton of evolution crystals now, because I completed Buried Relic and got, I think, 8 or something like that. But hey, I'll take one anyway. We don't even have Pokemon left that need evolving, really, that we've been using. Everyone is fully evolved that needs to evolve. Precious and Ashley are the only ones who haven't and won't for the time being, and they don't need evolution crystals. So I'm just kind of collecting them just to collect them at this point. But hey, maybe we pick up a Pokemon that I really like that needs an evolution crystal. Or several. We'll take Stay Away ones, okay. And a Tiny Reviver Seed. Ooh, yes, I need one of those. Haven't got any of those. Well, that was worthwhile. I'm glad we checked that out. Oh, we're getting hungry. Here's an Oranberry. Let's eat a perfect apple. I don't know how long we're going to be in here for, because I didn't actually look at the missions that we're supposed to be doing. I think there are 4 in this dungeon. I don't know how deep that's going to take us and how much of the dungeon we'll see, but similarly to the videos I did previously, we're going to check out what this dungeon has to offer, then we'll go and check out another one and see what that has to offer. We have a Phanpy already, but you have a rare quality, and I believe I get more money for bringing Pokemon with rare qualities along, even if I don't recruit them. And Leap Ahead, I think this is the first time we've seen it. The Pokemon behind you in a corridor jumps in front and uses a 1-tile move. After it uses the move, that Pokemon returns to its original spot. That's kinda cool. I'd like to see that in action, actually. Again, it feels like a bit of a fringe rare quality, where it's not going to be the decisive factor in your team composition, but hey, it's pretty cool. And Phanpy has pickup as well, so we're gonna get free items from them. Charm, that's not very effective against a special attacker. Oh, this one wants to join us as well. Well, you don't have a rare quality, so you can go away, thank you. Hey, there's Heal Bell kicking in for the first time. A Cubone. Ah, this might be the first time we've seen Cubone, and that's a Pokemon that you can start with, so that kind of gives this dungeon a lot of value, I suppose. I'm not sure how many of the Pokemon that we could have started as have been available up until now. It was only very recently that we got to see some of the starter Pokemon. There's Flygon, okay. Let's head straight over to you, but first pick up this money. Yeah, so we've seen some of the starters, but I'm not sure if we'd seen Cubone up until this point. And what other starters are there that aren't actual starter Pokemon? Pikachu, Skitty, Eevee? I'm not sure we've seen any of those yet. So yeah, it looks like this dungeon's an opportunity to at least recruit Cubone, which apparently is a very, very, very good starter Pokemon. So I know a few people like to recruit every Pokemon there is to recruit in the Mystery Dungeon games and consider that a mark of completion. Personally, it's something that's never really appealed to me, but I still like checking out these dungeons and seeing what kind of Pokemon there are to recruit anyway. I just probably wouldn't go for 100% completion of recruiting every Pokemon there is to recruit. That seems a little grindy. Ow. Oh wow, that destroys walls as well. Well, we're learning things today. Alright, looks like this is our final mission here. Easily completed. Let's get out of here. So we completed our jobs at Southern Cavern, which is a pretty straightforward dungeon. But hey, it looks like we at least managed to recruit some Pokemon. Oh hey, you got more for us? Say, sweetie, have you seen Gengar around? No, now that you mention it, I don't think we've seen him since, well, the end of the main story. Oh, okay. Something seems to be wrong with Gengar lately. He won't do anything wicked with us anymore. I wonder what's wrong with him. Yeah, it looks like he's got a lot on his mind. You think so? His expression, it looks the same as usual, no? All I've seen is him laughing in his usual mean way. Nah, it's different. I can tell. The way he sets his mouth, it's different, just a little at the corners. Perhaps so. Anyway, without Gengar around, Team Meanies can't operate. Such a vexing problem. Curious. Well, I'm sure more about that will be explained in time, but it raises an important question. We have not seen Gengar around in quite some time. Well, the Southern Cavern was pretty straightforward, so let's head out and check out another new dungeon. Let's go to the Grand Sea. And it's about time we switched the team up. We have not used a different team in a little while, and Precious is going to stay, but let's bring Biolante and Discord along, since they are our go-to Pokemon for dealing with water types, and I presume there are going to be a fair few water types in the Grand Sea. Let's find out. Looks like a C so far. Wingull! I like Wingull, yeah. You all know that I'm quite a fan of water types, and Wingull is no exception. I think it's a little slept on, actually. I think Pelipper is a surprisingly good Pokemon that people underestimate to a degree. It is a little strange that this Wingull is actually under the sea, by the looks of things. Wow, okay, that did a lot of damage, but it was a crit, so that's fine, and riled up Energy Ball in response will be perfectly okay. And we can recruit Tentacool. Nice. So this is a 30-floor dungeon, a little bit shorter than Southern Cavern. Again, I'm curious to see whether this is a place to go to recruit a few Pokemon, or whether there's a different goal in mind. There are no restrictions on this dungeon, which is nice. It's a little bit of a come down after the level 5 restrictions in the last part. But nonetheless, I'm interested to see what's gonna happen here. I'm also excited to use Biolante again. It's been a little while since we used her. She's fully evolved. She looks fabulous. Hey, you leave that Tentacool alone. Right then. Let's see what there is to see in the Grand Sea. I'm pretty sure I've used that joke before. Ew. Grass Pledge was sealed. That's okay, I still have another grass type move. Okay, that's how this is gonna be, huh? Take that. I already miss having Heal Bell by bringing Titania along. Just seems to be Tentacool and Wingull at the moment. This is truly the Hoenn experience. Well, there's a Mantike, that's something a little bit different. Quillfish! Again, a Pokemon that I quite like, that I wish was a little better. and also something that I tried to use in Colosseum, but it just didn't quite work out for us. I really do want to give Quillfish an opportunity at some point in my time playing Pokemon, because I never have up until now. I like poison types, that's my favorite type, and I like water types, it's my second favorite type. So a water poison type like Quillfish should be something that I really like. And yeah, you could say it's a little underpowered, but I don't mind using underpowered Pokemon, because you can usually find some kind of niche strategy that works for them. A few years ago, I used to play semi-competitively on Pokemon Showdown, and I would pretty much only play in the lower tiers because I found it more interesting. I pretty much go as high as UU tier. I'm not a fan of Ubers. Probably for the same reason that I don't really like playing OU, is that it's just mostly the same Pokemon all the time, and they're just too objectively powerful for my liking. I like finding quirky strategies to use. Right then, we have rescued Sizzle. There may still be something ahead, but I think we've seen all there is to see in the Grand Sea. I give it a 7.8 out of 10, too much water. At least, we managed to recruit a Tentacle. Oh, hello again. I think Gengar has headed off to Mount Freeze. I have heard that it's a place that is very difficult. Will he be okay? Gengar wants to meet with Ninetales, that's what I think. What he means to do when he does meet Ninetales, I don't know. Interesting, okay. Looks like some plot is developing here. Okay then, it's time for something a little bit more challenging, since the first two dungeons were pretty easy. Let's head out to the Joyous Tower. Attention, there are special rules to follow when you enter this dungeon. You cannot bring in items or money. Pokemon's levels will be set to 5. Let's do it. I'm gonna build a team for this. Learning from my experience previously, I think Titania, Biolante, and Celeste might be a good team to have here. Is it going to... Yeah, it's gonna store all of our items and money. Right then, let's check out Joyous Tower. We have nothing to lose. Let's see what this place has for us. Whoa. Wow, this is not quite what I was expecting in terms of its appearance. This is a very striking floor to look at. Speaking of looking, we know what Titania's moves are. Biolante, Sweet Scent, Magical Leaf, Weather Ball, and Poison Sting. Not as good as I was expecting. Celeste, Spotlight, Double Slap, Minimize, and Disarming Voice. Also not good. Right then, so my logic of Pokemon that evolved via evolutionary stones being really strong, perhaps not necessarily correct. But hey, this is I think the first time we've had a team like this, so it's cool to bring both the fairies along. And Titania is strong enough for the three of us. Yep, a crit Sky Attack should do the job, and Trico wants to tag along. This is another Pokemon that we could have started as, and we get the opportunity to recruit it now. That's cool. Alright, let's head up this way then. Joyous Tower, huh? What's so joyous about being reset to level 5 and not being able to bring items into the dungeon? Ow! Blast Trap. Hey, why don't you just stand in that, yeah, straight line there. Perfect. Sky Attack's range is ridiculous. And there's PP Pouch kicking in. A Bulbasaur. It's not precious, it's fine. Alright, let's get all these items we can get. A Bulldoze TM. TMs could be quite good to find here, since we don't have necessarily the most desirable movesets. Oh. Yeah, that's gonna happen. We get to hear this music again. I think this is the Gates to Infinity medley that we first heard in Oddity Cave. It really is fantastic. You have to be a little cautious in these dungeons, and the no items restriction is pretty cool actually, because I feel like we are now at a point where we're prepared for most things when it comes to going into these dungeons. Because of the amount of items that we have wands, we have orbs, we have seeds, we have everything that we could possibly need to make these dungeons go as smoothly as possible, but taking that away from us, it's something I can get behind. I could have used extreme speed here. Nonetheless, Titania handled it. And Biolante levels up. And Celeste levels up. But Titania does not level up. I don't like that. These random traps really messed me up in Buried Relic, because not only do they pick a random trap, but they apply that effect to every Pokemon in the party. So when a sticky trap gets picked, it has the chance of making an item sticky for every Pokemon in your party. Diglett. Hey, you have a leave half rare quality, even though we already have small stomach, so it's perhaps not particularly useful, but we'll take you anyway, and we'll get a level up for Titania. Weather Ball does not do a lot of damage. Air Slash misses. Weather Ball misses. We're making it work. This Trico wants to tag along as well. Nah, it's okay. We only need one. I don't want to bring too many Pokemon along just simply because... Wait, did you handle that? You handled that, cool. Just simply because that means there are more Pokemon to have to pay attention to and take care of, and I honestly get into the most awkward situations when I can't necessarily look after all of my Pokemon. We'll have this Bulbasaur tag along, and we might actually recruit it because we'll evolve this one. Violante levels up. You know what? We have Iron Spikes, right? So maybe I should... Well, let's set the Silver Spikes first. What's that? A Warp Seed. Okay. Not a Reviver Seed, though. So since this Bulbasaur has Thrown Item Boost, it might be worth actually setting these Thrown Items for once. Not something I do very often, but I'm just gonna have you all line up. I think that would be best. Oh, you're not gonna make that easy for me, are you? Well, how about this? Haha! Gotcha both. Ha! And Titania earns that level up. Loot. You'll love to see it. Alright, let's get around your Hardens with an Air Slash. Oh, we're hungry. That's something I didn't consider. It's really nice that we have small stomach then, in that regard, so any kind of food that we find will be really, really useful. Wow. Well, that's the only exception to that rule, I suppose. Is there anything else that we could eat? We could... You know what? It seems really stupid, but it'll fill our belly entirely, so I'm gonna eat this Warp Seed. And hey, we found a Slumber Orb that we may not have found before, and we found the stairs in the next room. So that worked out quite nicely, actually. Everything here seems to be... Hey, a Torchic. Everything here seems to be disabled, or sealed, or whatever the actual term is. Hey, stop that. So many of our items are disabled, and we don't have a Cleanse Orb to deal with that at the moment, which is a little awkward, but again, adds to the challenge. Oh, you know what doesn't add to the challenge is finding the stairs in the first room. Honestly, having PP Pouch and Small Stomach is really, really nice in these dungeons with item limitations. So, even if my logic about which moves the Pokemon might have was off, at least having the right rare qualities is going to make this a little bit easier. Oh, all the different weather conditions mean that Weather Ball is going to have different effects. I forgot about that. That's really cool. At least the sun, the rain, and the hail change it. I'm not sure if Sandstorm does. There's a Minun, another Clefairy, but we've got the stairs here. Some rocks, an orb. You know what? We'll go and find that orb. We'll see what it is. Another level up. Violante level 9. Seems that grass types grow the quickest. since I believe Precious grew faster than Ashley and Titania in the last dungeon. Got a rainy orb. We could force the weather to be how we want it with that, if we need it. An all dodge orb. Hey, a Kecleon shop. This is quite valuable for us. Yep, I'll take that. I will take that. Probably don't need that. Probably don't need that. Or that. Yep, we'll take a health orb. And we already have a totter orb. Right, well, that is fantastic. We have a cleanse orb now, which means all of the sticky disabled items that we couldn't use before, we can now make useful. So this big apple, this max ether, the cherry berry quick seed, and the joy seed. I'm gonna hold off on using the cleanse orb quite yet until we absolutely need one of those items, probably the apple. Just in case we pick up any more sticky items. Right, I'm gonna have to walk up here because Poison Sting is not ranged as much as I feel like it should be. An Eevee! Alright! So we really are getting the opportunity here to recruit all of the Pokemon that we could have started as or with. We've seen a bunch of starter Pokemon. We've seen now Eevee as well. I think there was a Pikachu in this dungeon as well at some point. So that seems to be the purpose of this dungeon. I also really like that they put restrictions on it, just to make those Pokemon feel a little bit more exclusive and make it feel like you've earned them, since you chose not to start with them. There's something to be said for games that do that. I really like it when a game gives you the choice of a few things at the beginning, and says, well, if you want the other things you could have had, you have to earn them. Dark Souls is a game that does that, where you have the opportunity to choose certain items at the beginning of the game, and certain sets of gear. But if you want the other ones, they're not lost to you. You just have to find them and earn them. Yeah, we'll recruit this Clefairy. And honestly, that's kind of what this feels like. A one-shot orb. That could be useful if we run it into a monster house, which I don't know if this dungeon would be that mean, but it might be. I'd love to recruit an Eevee. I love Eevee. Who doesn't love Eevee? Come on, let's be honest. Wow, that did a lot of damage. You must have adaptability. You do have adaptability. Well, we didn't recruit it, but Biolante leveled up. I actually got a comment recently asking me if they were to add a new evolution, what would I like it to be? I would be very surprised if they added a new evolution. Ow, jeez. That is not gonna work. That will, though. Whoa, Celeste, no! Jeez, the adaptability tackles do so much damage. Prep another Sky Attack, Titania. We're gonna need it. Okay, we got it. Well, we lost Celeste. That's not great. Anyway, if they were to add a new evolution, I would be really surprised. But I would like it to be a Dragon type, simply because back before the physical special split, all of the evolutions were the special-based types. And the only special-based type in the game that doesn't have an evolution now is Dragon. I think it'd also be really fitting to have a Dragon-type evolution to go along with Sylveon, since it's kind of the only evolution without a partner. You have the original trio, then you have Espeon and Umbreon together, and then you have Leafeon and Glaceon together. So it'd be really cool if they added a Dragon-type evolution to offset Sylveon. I'm not sure what it would do though, what kind of stat profile it would have, because we don't really need another sweeper evolution when we already have both Jolteon and Espeon that can do that. Maybe it could be a bit of a brawler, more like a Leafeon. I suppose you could say Vaporeon, where it has good defenses but can also hit pretty hard as well, and Umbreon is more of a tank, and well, then there's Flareon and Glaceon, and honestly I don't know where they stand really. Okay, Titania leveled up. That's cool. We're gonna need... Oh my goodness! What do we do to a Beldum here? Do we have any items we can use here? Because I don't want to take another takedown here. This is risky, but it might work. Fortunately, we have Steamroll on Biolante, which is super, super valuable in making sure that type matchups don't completely mess us up. But now we are missing Celeste, so we do have to be careful. There's really not much I can do about this, can I? Have you guys got this? Can you handle it? No, Bulbasaur 2! You weren't strong enough. But Diglett's got this, okay. Okay, well this is getting a little tricky. It's mainly just the Eevee and the Beldum that are causing the problem right now because of the adaptability boost to tackle and takedown just having a lot of power. But we won't be here for much longer, I don't think. Actually didn't check what floor this mission was on. Oh, okay, bye. That's how Covet works, I see. Ah! Really should not run straight into you. Sky attack. Wow, you survived. Jeez. Oh, you survived that as well! Oh! Ah! I did not expect that. Well, this sure is a situation that we're in. Ah, only one hit left as well. Well, Biolante, it's up to you to lead the recruits through this. You're all on your own, and, well, we get to see Biolante's really cool running animation, at least. Now that we're in control of her. No, you stay away, demon! Oh, there's another one! This is the end. This is the end for us. Can we keep you at a distance? You're gonna hit this Diglett. I'd rather you hit the Diglett than me, though. Nice, okay, we did manage to keep you at arm's length. Let's Poison Sting you. It doesn't do a lot of damage, though. Whew! Someone else needs to take these hits for me. Oh. Bye. Ah, you couldn't steal because you're not actually a member of the team. Cool. Whew, man, these Eevee are tough. A Linoon. Whoa, hey. Stop that. If we could recruit you for pickup, that would be amazing. No, it wasn't enough, Diglett! We do not do a lot of damage. Take it out, go! We do even less damage now that it's awakened. Oh, holy Christ. This is not good. Okay, well, we got rid of it. Our numbers are dwindling. Nope. 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 Not dealing with that. Not today, not ever. Oh, crumbs. Did it miss? Hang in there, Clefairy. Yeah, double slap, let's go! You know what I find really interesting about this dungeon, actually, is it's a great place to come to recruit Pokemon. But oh no! Oh, it missed! It missed twice! Yes! Oh! We're alive! This is anyway, as I was saying, this is a great place to come to recruit Pokemon, really rare ones. But since you're not allowed to bring items into it, you can't escape orb unless you find an escape orb, and I would assume that they are probably quite rare. Probably should have thrown an item that turn. No, 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 Cyndaquil! Clefairy, don't do this. Can we cure the confusion? We have a health orb. This is stupid. It's definitely a bad idea not to heal that confusion. But... oh, we're gonna have to fight this Linoon, aren't we? Yeah, it was probably a bad idea not to heal the confusion, but I thought we could take it out if we had one more turn. And I was right that time. Switcheroo. Oh, thanks for the Geopebble. No, crap! No! He was just messing. He was just sandbagging. This is the end for us. Well, that's Joyous Tower. Would you like to start this dungeon over? Nah, I'm good. Okay, well, we lost all the items and money that we found in the dungeon, but there was very little to actually lose, which is why I don't particularly mind about fainting there. Well, we got to see what Joyous Tower was all about. We also got to see what 2 other dungeons were about as well, and yeah, we didn't make a massive amount of progress in this part. But sometimes, just checking out what the game has to offer can be like that. We did at least get to see some plot developing with Medicham, Ekans, and Gengar, which hopefully we'll be able to follow up on in the next part. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next part.